question. Daily in the life. How we as content creators provide content and how we balance family, day job, and Chana other interests.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh man.
Oh man, that's a good question.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it is.
That's an excellent question. I guess I'll go first.
Yeah, go first.
How do I balance? This is going to get a little philosophical, but I think that that's really the secret to having a good life, because, people are always like, some people are fortunate enough to have jobs that they really enjoy, right? Some people, they go to a job and they don't really like it, and then they go home and hopefully they go and do something they enjoy. But if you can, it sounds so cliche, but if you can do something you really enjoy, it doesn't really feel like you're working, right?
Yeah.
So for me, family, I get to work from home. Like I can just go upstairs. Like my commute to work is walking downstairs, right? So to me, there's that vertical alignment that I think is very important because it just makes you so much more efficient, right? Like everything I purchase that I like is probably camera stuff or electronics and stuff that I can review or stuff that can make my videos better.
Yeah.
All right. So all my toys are expenses, right? So, I guess I don't know how to say it, but the balance is in finding that thing, right? There's nothing else that I have to like, I need to do this other thing. I guess that's also a bad thing because I was on vacation last week, but I was also on the podcast, right? So maybe for that hour, I wasn't hanging out with the family, right?
Right.
So there's always pros and cons, but to me, I wouldn't trade my life for anybody else's.
Yeah.
And I think that's a balance with every job because really, I mean, how many people take their work on vacation with them? They'll bring their laptop and I just got to check a couple emails or I got to do this. So we all do it, but we got to make sure that we balance. The last thing we want to do is build a great business, but then you've kind of missed your kids growing up. I mean, Joe, your kids are small.
Yeah.
My kids are pretty much adults now, other than my youngest, Rebecca. My middle daughter just graduated this past couple days ago. And so, man, they grow up super, super quick. And so who cares if you got an amazing business if you don't have a relationship with your children, or your wife, and that's suffering. So I think you're right. I think there is a balance there. The hard part for me, working from home is just having like a dedicated schedule because my work week is kind of like Chana's. I mean, you've got so many different things going on. I mean, I only have 2 businesses that I operate, Youthman Reviews, and then I do website development. So some days, just depending on, I may get an email from a client that says, hey, here's some changes I need to make, or I may be working on a website. And so my schedule, I don't have like a schedule every day. You know what I mean? So that's always changing, but it's definitely, it's a challenge, to balance that with your family, with your hobbies and, and with your job. Youthman name change. What you mean? What does that mean? Pierre?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, man. I don't know. I'm all about this. When I was younger, I thought about writing some sort of book or forget about all that. It seems like too much work, but a book about alignment, like just aligning the things that you like. I don't know how else to say it, but just do what you like to do.
Yeah.
Too many people, here's the thing, is I think too many people chase money, right? And it leads them to doing something they don't really like doing, but they're getting paid.
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So they're thinking, if I get paid, at least I can come home and I can provide, and blah, blah, blah. Then I can go on vacations. But I think you can have it all, actually.
Yeah. I think when you do what you love and what you're passionate about and kind of operate in the gifts that you've been given, I think that's when you excel, and that's when the money just kind of naturally follows. Like Chana, you're an incredible DJ. You love being out there with the people. You love getting them hyped up. And guess what? There's some folks that's willing to pay you a good amount of money.
Oh, yeah.
He gets paid to party.
Awesome. Yeah.
I was literally like drinking. I was stoned out of my ass. Like it was fantastic.
And you got paid?
and I got paid, and I got to play all the music I wanted to play. I didn't feel like obligated to play like even at a wedding. So at a wedding, like I got to play like wedding-ish stuff.
Yeah.
Mm.
And this is why I kind of like the other gigs. Like I said, it's still good. I mean, like I played for like 3 hours. They paid me like $500. I mean, like what? Like I'm gonna say no to that. I'm out in the sun, catching rays. Everybody's feeling it. I saw a bunch of people that I haven't seen in like a year because they were out, and it was weird because they were still skiing and snowboarding, and there was mountain biking. So there was like all these different types of people up there. Some were in snowboard gear, some were in like full on downhill mountain bike stuff with a motorcycle helmet on. It was crazy. But I love it. I mean, I like doing this. I was thinking about this too. Like, there are only a few times, and like this weekend was one of them, where I was actually in awe of myself and like came to the realization like I am really fucking good at this DJing thing. Like I already know, but it was just these certain times I'm just like, damn, that was fucking great. Like what an amazing, like I am so lucky because I'm just blessed. Like I don't know how I do this, right? I mean, I know how I do this, but it's just one of those things that my mom and her side of the family, nobody, they have no rhythm at all. Mm-hmm. My dad played the congas and the bongos like nobody's business, and so like that's all. It's just something that's just inherent and innate. Like I just do it. Like I don't know. I don't question it.
Everybody has their own gifts and abilities, man.
Yeah. And it's fantastic. And being able to just play loud music and like be good and be awesome and have everybody stoked and get paid. And I'm like completely out of my mind. Like,
or maybe you get paid because of all those things.
Yeah.
Right. Why would somebody pay you if you sucked?
Yeah.
You didn't have good rhythm. Yeah, you probably wouldn't be getting hired for that type of job. So it's kind of weird that it all kind of goes together. Have about you, Aaron? Because you have a different kind of situation, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's kind of the reason I was asking, because I know people think and have certain expectations about, content creators. Like, oh, well, all they do is just create videos and it's easy. But I don't think they understand, because even me, even I only do it part-time. It's tough to balance. So like my typical day is I wake up 5:30. I try to get to work by 6:30 or so to beat traffic. There until about 3 or 3:30. Leave, come home. Then it's family. It's whatever we need to do. But if my kid's got something going on, like piano lessons or something, then I've got an hour I can blitz to try to get a test done. So it's always just trying to balance that out for me, and then try to do these reviews the best I can and all that. But I enjoy it. But definitely not doing this for money. Maybe I'll get to retire like 5 years early, but.
Now, one thing that's kind of interesting about that
hold
is
your breath about that.
Yeah.
One thing I found that's kind of interesting about that is the expectation from the audience typically doesn't change whether you're part-time or full-time content creator.
Right. Yeah.
Because I mean, think about it. How many people have told you what you need to be shooting?
Oh, I can't tell
you what kind of
the number of times people say you need to test blah blah blah. And my reaction is always the same. Hey, if you want to send it to me, kind of put your money where your mouth is, because I'm paying for this out of pocket, or I'm taking them from loaners.
Exactly. Yeah. So I thought that's always funny, but
people expect a lot of other people.
I did 3 jobs, probably the first 2 years when I really started kind of trying to grow my channel. The first 2 years I had 2 jobs. So I had a full-time job, and then I also had my web development business. And so trying to balance that, like you said, man, that's crazy tough. I'd be up way late at night, 2, 3, 4. Sometimes I'd finish editing at 5:30 because I wanted to get a video out, and then I had to work at 8 o'clock the next morning. Yeah. So yeah, man, you just grind it out. But hopefully, as you work hard to grow your channel, then if that's your desire, then it frees up the ability to be able to do that full time. Yeah. And if it's not that's your desire, then that's totally cool too. But but the hard work definitely does pay off. But it takes a lot of hard work, man.
It takes really a long time. Yeah.
I mean, FOMO says that. Thanks, FOMO. By the way, thank you for the super chat.
What's
Content
up,
creators all drive neon Lamborghinis.
They do. I've seen it. That's the thing. Maybe. Like I see these guys. So I've been doing YouTube for about a year now, and I know how much money I make off each video, and it's pennies. I mean, I don't have a lot of views, but I've scaled that up, doing the math, and I still don't understand how some of these people are able to make the living that they present to the public that they do. Some of these guys are out there driving Lambos and having mansions, and I'm like,
Pop a Lamborghini.
how?
Pop a
Yeah.
Lamborghini.
Like, how are they doing that? That don't make no sense.
Yeah.
They
Whatever.
rent them.
Yeah.
You actually may be right.
And the reality is, once your channel gets massive, if you've got millions of views, then
or millions of subscribers, I guess.
Yeah, millions of subscribers. When it comes to that point, then a lot of times you're probably partnering with some pretty big brands.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And those brands are willing to pay for access to your audience.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And so,
Well,
that's
those
where-
are not audio guys either. Those, like, we're talking
No.
about like the Jake
Entertainers.
Pauls of the world,
Yeah.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
entertainers.
Yeah.
yeah. And just because we're all on YouTube, and I'm sure there's some audio guys that make more money, less money, right?
Mhm.
And that's the thing. I always go back to Circuit City, right? Because you can see everybody's numbers. We all worked at the same place,
Yeah.
but some people were making way more than other people, right?
Yeah.
So it's just the way you play the game, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you got to have
So-
you got to have a business mindset. To me, the key for the YouTube side of it is, like you said, Aaron. I mean, we don't make a ton of money on even the views.
No,
I
yeah,
mean,
definitely
You may
not.
have like Joe's got a video that hit 2 million views, and that probably did pretty well financially, and it still continually brings in money every month.
It pays for the Lambo.
Yeah. But that's about it.
But the average, videos, I mean, you're making, you're doing okay. But unless you got millions and millions of views every single month, I mean, that's where that would add up. But, to be able to survive as a full-time content creator, you've got to have multiple income streams.
Yeah.
Whether
Yeah,
it's
no doubt.
Patreon, whether it's merchandise, whether it's, the Hi-Fi Summit, whether it's, all these different things, going to trade shows and advertising for, brands, or at least covering their booth and things like that. There's just a lot of different ways that we've got to, to try to grow our channels, but also provide for our families as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. So hopefully
Well,
that
yeah,
answers that question.
And not to sound like we're complaining. I mean, I don't want to. I know you guys definitely are not, and I'm not. Like, I enjoy doing all this stuff, but I kind of think it's interesting for people to get some real perspective on, a typical day. A wake up, go to work. No matter if you're working a real job or a YouTube job. I mean, it's work regardless of what you're doing.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a little different because
exactly.
Or us three, this is kind of our main thing.
Yeah. 100%.
And it's a little different for you, Aaron, because you have, another job, and then this is what you do. I mean, that's how you were, Michael, before too.
Absolutely.
Right?
I mean, I got 100,000 subscribers. I got over 650 videos uploaded, and I got 2 other jobs.
And you're working,
three technically,
right?
Which I dropped 2 of them, which was teaching guitar and piano, which sucked. I had to drop that due to COVID. But I would teach here because I got an 88 key keyboard right here, and I would teach guitar as well. And then when I started the channel, it was doing that. It was karaoke night Tuesdays. It was DJing on the weekends and working graveyard at this place here, which I have to go to tonight. And then YouTube, and then YouTube, and then YouTube. And I did that silliness where I put out 70 videos in 7 weeks.
Yeah.
So
that's
like,
nuts, man.
It's just one of those things. Like, you know what? There's this thing, like this clip. This guy was talking about 3 traits of like successful people, and one of the things is like I totally related to is like I didn't stop and ask all these questions about doing something. I just did it.
Yeah,
I just did it. I just was like, hey, let me start a YouTube channel. I did. I didn't tell my wife. I didn't tell anybody. And then all of a sudden, like, well, I told my buddy Maurice, who was helping me, host karaoke. He's like, oh, you're going to be really good at that. And so that's it. It just grew. It grew. And then like 8 or 9 months down the road, like I finally told my wife, she's like, what are you doing downstairs? I'm like, oh, I'm shooting a YouTube video. Video? What do you mean? I'm like, yeah.
Now, I'm just curious. Did y'all, when you first kind of started your channel, did your family make fun of you?
No.
Mine did, man. They thought I was the craziest person. They're like, seriously, Dad, you're going to be like on YouTube.
Oh, you're okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like my
you got
kids-
teenage daughters. Yeah, I
Yeah.
can imagine them
They're
making
like-
fun of you
Okay.
because they're probably like, YouTube's a cool thing. What are you doing on YouTube?
Exactly. Like, where do you fit in
You're
that?
not
whole
cool
YouTube
enough,
Right.
YouTube dad.
Exactly. And then my wife, Jessica, she's like, you spend 8 hours editing a video and you make 4 of those. At that time, I was doing the 3 jobs. So I made 1 video a week, 8 hours for each video. And I made $30 a month on YouTube. And
Yeah.
she's like, why? And
Yeah.
I told her, I said, I'm looking long-term.
Right.
This is not something that I'm looking for immediate return on investment. I mean, this is investment time, me investing the time into the channel to grow it, to learn about it. I mean, I didn't get a manual on YouTube, I mean, we're trying to figure this stuff out as we go on
Yeah.
how to create content that you guys will enjoy, how to make, a video with correct measurements, all that different stuff,
Yeah.
learning about lighting, learning about camera equipment, learning about good audio, learning how to do a podcast. I mean, all this stuff we've had to kind of learn.
Yeah.
On our own.
That stuff ain't easy either.
No.
I mean, I'm still like messing with lighting sometimes, and then like I did a video recently, and I was just like, screw it. I didn't even care. I was just like, I'm just going to shoot this video and get it done, And then other ones I'll try to take more seriously, and it just kind of depends on my mindset. But I've tried to quit worrying about all the other little in betweens and just do me
Just
and
shoot
hope
man.
it works. Yeah,
Don't
just
shoot
go.
The worst is when you start wanting to make your videos better because now you're investing in more equipment, and then you're watching like, oh, how did they do that shot? Oh, how come theirs looks like that and mine looks like this?
Yeah.
And next thing you know, you're like spending way more time on the video than you used to,
Yeah.
when you should actually be getting more efficient, right? You should be
Right.
spending less time,
Right.
the more
And then you got people like Joe that says, hey, Michael, you really need this nice. I mean, I know you got this decent tripod, but you really need this $200
Bad
head that I'm
influences.
going to end up buying because this thing is rad. And so I like that tripod head, dude.
But that's one thing I'm trying to save you time, right?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to make you spend. I'm like, you know, you can balance it just by doing this. It saves time.
Nice.
Oh man. But yeah, I mean, I think one thing that's important that I don't mind talking about is, that we do make our living here, right? And we try to be transparent about how we do that. And I just want to make it clear that here at Daily Hi-Fi, a lot of times, like we did a deal with Polk, right? Yep. Michael, Chano, myself, we did a deal, but Aaron he's a little different, right? He's got his own deal going on, and so a lot of times, I don't really say like, I don't really hit you up for that sort of stuff because I already know the answer is, right? Like you don't, it's not your main thing, so it's not something that you really concern yourself with. So I think it's important to let people know about that too. I don't want anybody to ever say like those Daily Hi-Fi guys, including Aaron, like you know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like I don't want it to I don't know,
be like
affect you in that way
on Aaron or something like that.
Something like that. Like, hey, those Daily Hi-Fi guys are always doing sponsored stuff.
Something. Is
Michael is,
on my
I
end.
am, Shauna is, and Aaron, for the most part, as of right now, you're not into that.